Thank you. What a nice introduction that is. How could you do better than Jerry, right? Can't.
They wanted me in the blue chair. I don't know why.
I don't know. Thank you, everybody. So nice to be here. Appreciate it.
Well, you know, I've already talked about how your campaign is self-funded, how you have, you're really sacrificing so much to run. I mean, the press is so vicious for the family of any candidate. The scrutiny is unbearable, my wife believes, anyhow. And what motivated you to run for president of the United States when you could have just sat back and eaten a lot of Wendy's cheeseburgers like you did on the plane last night?
That's right.
Last night, when I rode with him on the plane, I expected, here's, you know, I'm a country boy from Virginia. It's going to be champagne and caviar. He broke out Wendy's cheeseburgers and fries. So. But what motivated you to step out, take the risk, and sacrifice so much?
Well, I appreciate that question because it's just, to me, so sad when I see what's happening with our country. When I see our leaders, if we want to call them leaders, I don't even call them leaders. They're not leading, and then certainly not leading properly. When I look at what's going on with jobs, when I look at what's going on with trade deals, when I look at what's going on with this horrible Iran deal where we pay $150 billion for absolutely nothing, and we get nothing from it other than you're going to end up with nuclear proliferation. It's going to be all over the place. And I see things like that, and then we finally get our hostages back when they get their money. And then I see them go and take our 10 sailors and put guns to their heads, put them in a begging position. You know, so many things like this. I look at a Sergeant Bergdahl deal. We get a traitor back, and they get 5 killers back that they've wanted for 9 years, okay? So when I see that, somebody said 2 weeks ago, Donald Trump is angry, and the people with him are angry. And I'm supposed to say, I'm not angry. And I get up on the stage, and during the debate, the last debate that I won, the other debate, I skipped because I wasn't treated properly. And we have to remember, when you're not treated, it's true. And by the way, they got lousy ratings, okay? We have to remember, which I knew would happen, and they would have broken the record, but we have to remember, when you're not treated properly, you have to sort of do what you have to do, and that goes for the country. If we're leading our country and we're not treated properly, like the way we've been treated by Iran and many other nations, we have to worry about our country. We have to do that. The nicest part about the debate situation was that we raised $6 million in 1 hour for the vets. 1 hour. So that was a great thing. But bottom line, I see all the hats, Make America Great Again. Jerry, when you ask why, we want to make America great again. That's what we want to do. It's very simple.
I mean, how often do you see a presidential candidate giving money away instead of taking it? I think that's wonderful. And we've got a group. We've got a group here today who's going to receive the second disbursement of that $6 million that was raised the other night. If that group would come on the stage now, it's called Partners for Patriots.
Oh, they're over here. Here we go. Come on, why don't you get right in the middle? Get right. Fantastic. So maybe tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do, because, you know, we vetted for the vets, but we vetted very carefully, and the people that are getting this money are tremendous people. So what do you do?
We train service dogs for disabled veterans to help them live their daily lives. One that you met, Todd Landon, that needs a dog, you know, had 21 surgeries. This kid has been through so much, you know, serving our country and fighting for us.
So with 100,000, you can do a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
It's just such an honor. It's so great. So thank you very much. Use it well. Say hello to Todd. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, honey.
There's a beautiful Rottweiler right here, but Secret Service wasn't too excited about bringing it up on the stage. but he's gentle, I promise. I don't know why there was a fear, but we're facing a crisis in this country with ISIS, and all the intelligence experts tell us that the ISIS will most definitely infiltrate the refugees that are coming to this country. ISIS has more landmass now than any terrorist organization in history. They're beheading Christians. Tell us how you would handle that problem, and tell us how quickly you think you'd be able to fix it.
Well, it's such a big question now. Who would have thought this would have happened? I mean, we've destabilized the Middle East totally. When we did Iraq, and I was against Iraq. I'm a strong guy in the military. I don't think there's anybody, I would say, the most militaristic of all. And I want to build our military, Jerry, so strong, so powerful that nobody's going to mess with us, and they won't. But I said, look at all that press back there. I said to Reuters, actually, and others, early on in 2004, 2003, the war is the wrong thing. You're going to destabilize the Middle East if you go take out one of the two, meaning Iraq or Iran. So we take out Iraq, and what a mess has been created. And then when we got out of it with Obama, the way he got out of it, by announcing a specific date, the enemy pulls back. They say, I can't believe he's saying this. And then they go to town after we leave. It's just I can't use the term a comedy of errors because there's nothing funny about it. What's gone on is so sad, and the decisions are so sad. Now we've created and helped create this massive migration, and plenty of countries have made a mistake. You look at what's going on in Germany, it's a total mess. I mean, they're having riots over there. The crime is through the roof. And every country. Brussels. Has anybody been to Brussels? I've been to Brussels a long time ago. It's so beautiful, so everything. It's like an armed camp now. You look at what's going on, it can't happen. So I wanted to create, and I suggested, create a safe zone, because we all have heart. Create a safe zone. We've got to get the Gulf states, who are tremendously rich, who frankly are not taking anybody, and they're not spending money or much money, and they're not taking anybody. They got to fund it. We've got to get them to fund it. We're protecting them. We're saving them. Let them fund it, because we're funding everything, and that's why we owe $19 trillion, because we make all stupid decisions. So we get them to fund it, and we create a big safe zone in Syria, or a number of safe zones, so that people stop. Now, they've done this migration through Germany. Nobody knows who the people are, and we all have heart. I think it's sad to see, but when you look at that line, when you look at that massive migration, you see so many young, strong men, right? I mean, it's young, strong, and I said to myself, first time I noticed it was early on. At first you say, well, it's a little unusual because all of these, it just seems to me, and you look at it, young, strong men. So now we're going to take them into our country. We've already started, thousands and thousands, and we don't know. Are they ISIS? Is this a Trojan horse? What's going on? You look at what's happening in other countries. We're not going to take any if I'm there. And I'll tell you something, anybody that comes in, sadly, I have to tell you, they're going back. They have to go back. They have to go back. So there's no way, Jerry, and I've gone to the top law enforcement people, and I've seen them, and I've read about them, and I've read their statements. The top people, they say there is absolutely no way that you can tell where these people come from. They have no papers whatsoever. There's no background. There's no background checks. It's like starting off with a person from zero. They have no idea. We cannot afford this as a country. We cannot afford it from an economic or from, perhaps most importantly, from a security standpoint. So we just can't do it. And interestingly, as you saw the other day, Sheriff Joe from Arizona, now, right? He endorsed me, and when Sheriff Joe endorsed you, you're the strongest on, I will tell you, the whole immigration thing, how that worked out, illegal immigration. We're going to have a really strong border. We're going to have a wall. People are going to come in, but they're going to come in legally. They're going to come in legally. But we got the endorsement. And Sarah Palin, and this gentleman, one of the greats, and we got Willie Robertson, too, who's a friend of my boys and a great shooter. They go hunting together, but Willie was great, too. So, and I think Sarah's coming tomorrow. She's going to be here. She's going to be on the Today Show, actually, and that's going to be very exciting. So we look forward. She's going to be on Monday on the Today Show, so that'll be very exciting.
Yeah, Willie Robertson's a good friend.
Great guy.
His son and his daughter-in-law go to Liberty. I had to mention that and get a little plug. But back in the late 70s, my father was criticized because he saw a candidate who was able to pull voters from across the aisle, from the other political party, he saw a candidate who was able to draw people who had never voted before across all demographic lines. It was Ronald Reagan, and he was criticized because Ronald Reagan was a Hollywood actor. He had been divorced and remarried, and my father was a pastor, and Jimmy Carter was a Sunday school teacher. And he said, a lot of folks said, how can you support? And all you had to do is look at, he said, Jesus said, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's. That means be a good citizen. That means when you walk in the voting booth, you choose the candidate who is most qualified to run the country. It's like when you have a sick child, you choose the doctor that's most qualified to treat that child. You don't necessarily choose the one that shares your faith. And that was what he told everybody, and people listened. And, Jimmy Carter was a great Sunday school teacher, but look how he did as president. But we see 60% of Republicans who say that the Republicans in Washington have betrayed them. And, they make promises. They make promises on social issues, and they've been doing it for decades. They never seem to come through. And, I think you're the first candidate since Ronald Reagan who's bringing in new voters, bringing them from across the aisle, But we've got to get the Republicans who made the promises to start honoring their promises. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, one of the things that I found so interesting, because I spoke the other day at Liberty, and it's an amazing place. What Jerry and Becky have done is absolutely incredible, and they've taken over from their father, and it is so beautiful. And breaking the record was very important to me. And you know whose record I broke? My record from 4 years ago, so I'm happy. I thought I would have broken somebody else's record. But the interesting thing is that Jerry has every single candidate goes through Liberty University, right? Everybody, because it's an amazing place, and it's a packed house, and these are fantastic young people, and I guess some other people than young, but mostly young people. They're amazing people, and they all came through. And when Jerry endorsed me, it was such an honor for me, because he sees everything, and Jerry is, and he's doing this as an individual, such an honor for me. And when I look, and he said one thing about me, and he said great about everybody, honestly, but he said something about me that I like better than anybody else. He said, I most resemble his father from the standpoint of my ideas, my attitude, my way, and I thought that to me was the greatest compliment, okay? I thought that was better than anybody else's compliment.
Well, it's true. I mean, my father was, he gave away so many scholarships to help young people that he almost bankrupted the school. And my mom would never let him have the family checkbook, because he'd give money to whoever was in need, and there wouldn't have been enough money left to pay the bills. So that, when I heard all those stories about how you've privately help people, it really did remind me of that. And so, but we got so many people out of the labor force now. We hear reports of 5% unemployment, but it's probably, when you count the ones who have given up, it's probably over 20%. How quickly do you think you could get those folks back to work and get those jobs back from China and wherever they've gone?
So when they just did the polls, CNN did and others did, they do polls, and I love these polls. I like them because I'm in first place. If I wasn't in first place, we wouldn't be talking. But one of the things that they now start doing, they have these sub-tabs and they have everything. It's funny, I watch all these candidates. They spend millions of dollars on polling. And I have a lot of money. I don't spend anything money. I get it from those guys back there. See all those cameras? They do polls. They say, is he a nice guy? Is he a terrible guy? Is he a wonderful guy? Is he smart? Is he tall? Is he short? What's he like? You know more about yourself. You don't have to spend money. I watch these guys. They spend all this money on polling, Jerry. Candidates, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And there they are right there. The networks do it for free. What the hell are they doing polling for? So, no, it's true. It's true. Save your money. But, it's sort of interesting, though, because they did a poll, a big poll, and on the economy, I came out first by so much higher, like triple and quadruple. It was like, they're down at 6 and 5, and I'm at 58 and 67, and, numbers 68, 67%. That's with 15, 16, and 17 people in the race. But we have to bring back our jobs. And by the way, on the polls, number one on security, number one on ISIS, number one on protection, number one in almost every category. The only thing I wasn't number one on, personality. Can you believe it? They said I'm not a nice person. And I'm a nicer person than all of them. I mean, I'll tell you what just happened. What just happened. It just happened today. I read it. It says voter violation. Did you hear about this? Cruz issued a statement, put it in people's houses. Voter violation. It looks like a government voter violation. Like, and it says, and it's a social thing. You're not allowed to do it. And they're investigating him now. So he's putting in houses voter violation, and he's giving people, you have an F because you haven't voted enough, up, down the line. I never even heard of anything like this. It is so dishonest. It is so dishonest. Then he took an ad about me, and he said that I'm in favor of Obamacare. My whole campaign is against Obamacare. And the only way I can fight it is I have a much bigger platform than anybody else. So when he does it, so it's such a lie. But what he doesn't say is that he filled out a financial disclosure form, personal financial disclosure form. And on the form, he wants to pretend he's Robin Hood. He's going to protect everybody from Wall Street, big bad Wall Street, right? He forgot to mention that he's borrowed a lot of money at almost no interest. Anybody in this room would take the interest rate because he pays almost nothing from Goldman Sachs and from Citibank. Forgot to put the two banks on there. Forgot to mention it. And then, of course, his bigger problem is Canada. He was born in Canada, and a lot of people are saying he can't even be running for the election. So we'll find out about that. To me, that's a big problem, by the way, because if you become the candidate, it's possible you can't even run, according to a lot of people. But I have to say that I see so much dishonesty in politics, Jerry. I've never seen anything like it. I think Jerry's in doing something where you don't see like we see. It is so dishonest. First of all, the guys in the back, the press, among the most dishonest people I've ever met in my life. They really are. No, it's true. It's true. No. They are so dishonest. And they'll have a story that they can take something that's good and make it look bad. I'll tell you the great thing is, and I'm talking about only 75 to 80% of them. There's 20% who are good. But I'll tell you the great thing is, the people that we're dealing with, you're right. The people that, thank you. The people, look at those people back in the corner. Isn't that beautiful? These rooms, every room, Jerry, every room we go to is packed. It's whether it's a stadium, whether it's in Mobile, Alabama, 35,000 people, whether it's the Mavericks Arena in Dallas, 21,000 people, it's packed. Oklahoma, over 20,000 people twice. So, I mean, every place we go to, including Iowa, I mean, we go. I wish you had some bigger arenas here. I have to tell you, we're going to have to build something. But we have capacity crowds. And what I have found is the people are really smart, Jerry. They get it. They really get it. And I just want to thank everybody. One of the other things that came out is by far the Trump voter, the Trump person is the most loyal, by far. They say, I should not say this in front of Jerry, because I have to really behave in front of Jerry, right? But they say Donald Trump can do practically anything, and they're still voting for him. They're going to still caucus for him. So I'm very happy about it. But they say that, and it's out. I mean, 67 to 69%, regardless, they're with me. And then just about with him, I think I get into the 90s, and other people are at 9% and 12% and 19%. So my people, I adore you. You are going to make a decision soon, Monday. And I'm telling you, we're going to do a hell of a job. We are going to make America great again. I promise.
Donald, I've gotten to know some of your
I love you too. I love you too. Jerry, I don't know. It may be a guy, but I love him, okay?
Donald, I've gotten to know some of your family members and some of your employees, and I've noticed how much your children love you. I've noticed how loyal your employees are to you, and that's not the case when a boss is a tyrant. And I just wish you'd just say a word or two about your family.
I would love to, but maybe first, your family. Becky, Mrs. Falwell, is here, and she's an amazing woman who I've known over the years, and she's just an amazing person and such a big influence in Jerry in such a positive way. And I think she's right here. Becky, could you and the family come up, please? You and bring those beautiful children and spouses. Come on up. Come on up. Come. This is Becky and the family. Come on, family, get up here. I assume this stage can hold us, right? If it doesn't, we have a big story. Good.
That's our son, Trey. He's Jerry Falwell III. And this is his wife, Sarah. And this is our son, Wesley, his wife, Laura. They just got married, actually, at Trump Vineyard in last October in Charlottesville, Virginia.
And we
paid full
paid
price.
Full rate.
Thank you.
You know, I tell you what, I said, I'll give you a deal. He said, I want to pay full price. I said, nobody's ever said that to me before. He insisted on it. It was, I'm not used to that.
So he charged us double. And this is our daughter, Caroline Falwell.
Yeah.
And
You can.
thank you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. Great family.
All of us married way above ourselves, and so did you, Donald. If you could introduce.
Well, I would. I'd love to. So I brought with me, they wanted to be here so badly, my wife, Melania. Come on up. Melania. Come on up, honey. She's been so supportive. I'll tell you what, Melania actually did one thing. We talk about pollsters, right? She said, if you run, you will win. I said, what do you mean? If you run, you will win. The people respect you and they love you, and you will win. Now, if you don't run, you're never going to get an honest poll because nobody thinks you're running. So they can poll you and say, if Trump runs. But she said to me, very good, best advice. She said, that won't work. You'll be low. Nobody believes you're going to run. Even if they say you're going to run, unless you actually stand up and announce. I said, but what if I stand up and announce and I do badly? That's no good. It takes guts to run. Don't kid yourself. She said, if you run, you win. And almost from the day we announced, we've been in first place, Jerry. Mm-hmm. So here's my best pollster. Thank you, honey.
Hello, Iowa. It's great to be here. He will be unbelievable. The best deal maker, the best master negotiator.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, baby. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you, honey. And I have somebody that nobody knows, Ivanka. And her husband, Jared. Come on up, Jared. And Ivanka is about 8.5 months pregnant. And the doctor said, it would actually be much better if you didn't make the trip. She's very tough, by the way, I have to tell you. Right, Jared? And Jared is a great young man, went to Harvard, very smart, great, doing a fantastic job in business. He's in the real estate business, done an amazing job in his own right, just incredible. But with Ivanka, so they said, don't make the trip. I said, wait a minute, politically, wouldn't it be great if she had her baby in Iowa? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be unbelievable? That would guarantee me victory, right? No, but she's here, and we have great love for the people. And say something, honey.
Hi, Iowa. We're so excited to be here I'm here for the next 2 days and here to support my father, a man I love very much and have loved my whole entire life, but also a man who I've stood by his side for the last 10 years and see him make deals that nobody else could get done. And that's what this country needs. So I have no doubt that he will make America great again, but we also need all of you on Monday night to help us do that. So please come out and caucus for my father. He will over-deliver.
Thank you, man. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Both families, thank you.
One last question. What type of qualities are you looking for in your running mate?
Well, I never like talking about a running mate until I get the deal done. We have to get the deal done, in all fairness, because I don't like to think ahead. And so many people say, do you have anybody in mind? I like to focus. We started off, Jerry, with 17. They're dropping out like flies. You know that, okay? And you're going to lose a lot after Iowa. You're going to lose a lot after New Hampshire. New Hampshire's been an unbelievable place for us. We're leading by tremendous numbers. I will say this before I answer it, but I will give you somewhat of an answer to that because it's actually a very important question. In Iowa, ready? You have a lousy record. 16 years and you haven't picked a winner. Please pick a winner this time, okay? I'm going to win. I'm going to win. 16 years. You can't go another 4 years. You got to just get it done right. We're going to win. We're going to win. Leading everywhere, we're going to win. And leading against Hillary in the polls. Now we're leading against Hillary solidly. And I'll tell you this. A friend of mine who's a very political guy said, you know, the one person she does not want to run against is Trump. And Chuck Todd, who's a very nice guy, you know, he likes to believe the line and stuff because they go, oh, yes, we want to run against Trump. We want to. I said, Chuck, you don't understand. When they say they want to run against you, that means they don't want to run against you. Do you understand that? The one person they don't want to run against and that Hillary does not want to run, we're going to win. We had a series of big setbacks. We should have won 4 years ago. We should have won the last election. Should have won it. How that one was lost. We had a failed president, and it didn't work out. So we're not going to blame anybody, but it didn't work out. John McCain had a tough time because there was a little problem with a thing called the economy when he was running, and I think that would have been a hard one. But we certainly should have won 4 years ago. So, you know, I backed McCain. Didn't work. I backed Romney. Didn't work. This time I said, let's do it ourselves and do it and get it done. So really, 16 years is too long. And one other thing I have to say is, before we get to that, you better. These are tough-sounding guys, and I like the sound of that. But I'll tell you, really important. So it's 16 years, but we have to get it right. We have to get it right. More important than anything else, they want to move Iowa to the back of the pack. You know that. There's a big move that Iowa shouldn't be first. I give you my word. I'm president. I control it. You're staying right where you are. You're staying right where you are. So is New Hampshire. And Jerry, it's such an incredible tradition. It's really an amazing, even the caucus, the whole caucus thing, it's complicated, it's tougher. But you know what? You really have to want to have somebody when you're willing to go out and do this. It's actually a great system. I don't know if I'd want to have every state like that, okay? But it's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing tradition. And if I win, they're not touching Iowa. It's staying right where it is, and so is New Hampshire staying right where it is. They're not moving you guys to the back of the pack. It's not going to happen, okay? So just remember that. As far as a vice president's concerned, I want somebody, you know, it's a very simple test. Who do I think is going to be the best president if something should happen? Because things can happen. Who's going to be the best president? Because that's ultimately what it's all about. With that being said, you want to pick somebody that can help you. You want to pick somebody maybe from a state that you have to win. One of the things that one of the polls just came out, and in fact, the New York Post has a big story today, that Trump is winning with Hispanics. A big story, and I'm not surprised because I'm going to bring back jobs. It's actually a big story and become a big story, and Ivanka just showed it to me, that Trump, you'll see it, New York Post doing phenomenally with people that are here illegally, who are the people that vote. Of course, if you listen to the government, they want to have illegals start to vote too. Pretty soon we're going to have illegals starting to vote if we don't start getting tough and smart and go back to what it's all about. But when it comes to the vice president, we want somebody that can really be a great president, number one, always, but somebody that can also help us get to the goal so that you don't have another 4 years of losses. And there are some great people out there. I mean, Republicans have some great people out there, and I think we're going to have a tremendous success. One of the stories that was written by one of the major media groups was that if Trump wins, first of all, the Trump-Hillary, if she ever gets there, I mean, I don't know if she's going to get there with this email stuff. I mean, is she going to get there? I don't even know. But if it's Trump-Hillary, it's going to be the largest voter turnout in the history of the United States. And you know that because the debate that I participated in, not the failed debate, the last one, the debate that I participated, there are 24, almost 25 million people with the largest show in the history of cable. CNN, 2 weeks later, had the largest show in the history of CNN, okay, in the history of CNN. And I'll tell you what, I think if we had gone through, if I wasn't insulted, and we went through normal channels and we did the debate 2-3 days ago, I think that would have been larger than the 25 million people that they had on the first debate. I think that would have actually surpassed it. But they said, and they said it very strongly, I bring states into play that no Republican's going to think about. For instance, the concept of winning New York State is impossible for any of the people that I'm dealing with. Impossible. It's not even something. They don't even campaign there. I think we have a chance to win New York. I mean, they like me in New York. They like me in New York. And by the way, if we win New York, you're talking about a lot of delegates. right? But, if we win New York, you're talking about a lot. But we're going to win Pennsylvania. We're going to win Virginia. We're going to win Michigan. I'm always talking about the car business being stripped out of Michigan. And the poll numbers in Michigan are incredible. We're going to win Ohio. They did a poll. I like John Kasich very much, but the problem is they did a poll in Ohio, and I'm beating him by a lot, and he's the existing, he's the serving governor. We're going to win Florida. I'm at 48% against 16 people. So I think a lot of states that aren't even thought of, if you listen right now, because structurally the Republicans have a disadvantage, but you look at some of these states, they don't even talk about those states as a Republican. They're already written off. It's going to amount to basically 6 states. I think we can win states that aren't even thought of in the normal realm. And you're going to have yourself a victory, folks. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to disappear like the last group did 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Because that last month, I kept saying, where is he? Why isn't he on television? I call his people. Why isn't he doing Jay Leno? Why isn't he doing, Letterman and these shows? And every night you'd see Obama was on television. And I'd call it, say, he has to do Jay Leno. He has to do David Letterman. Why isn't he? I don't know what happened. They took a vacation the last month of the campaign. It's not going to happen with Trump, folks. We're going to win. We're going to win, okay?
I've never done anything like this before. I've never gotten involved in national politics, but I am now because I believe our country's at a crossroads. I believe if we get up over 22 trillion in debt, we may be beyond the point of no return. I believe if the next president is not the right president, there are going to be maybe up to 4 Supreme Court justice appointees that would change this country forever. All the values that we hold dear will be gone. And I honestly believe that this man who has turned companies around in the private sector can do it for this country. And that's why I'm here. And that's why...
Thank you.
That's why I'm so honored to be invited to join you up here. And it's a privilege to me, but it's because I believe so much is at stake. We could lose our country if we don't choose a man who is electable. And then he's the only one that's electable, in my opinion.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Wow, that was so nice. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Becky and the family. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.